All right, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, December 14th, 2023. If you've not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So, markets here, a little bit of whipsaw, so kind of all over the map. Definitely saw a little bit of game playing earlier today. We had a move down here, and it looked like we were going to fade, and then they kind of rallied it back up. And then we took a pretty good hit during the lunch hour. I think a lot of this has to do with the quarterly Opex tomorrow. We had a pretty weak chart pattern here, kind of intraday. You can even look on the 5-minute there. We started to come down. Looked like we were going to go lower, and then they floated it back up. Then they hit it during the lunch hour. So definitely seeing some whipsaw, some game playing going on here as the markets are still kind of in euphoria mode, though we did pull back again to basically the 470 handle, a little bit of a pierce there. We were able to scalp this in the trading room this morning. But in any case, markets are pulling back, and we'll leave it at that for now. I will say, though, this does look a little top heavy. I know we've talked about, you still don't want to fight the trend, but that kind of hanging man look there on the SPY with volume. That's one thing I noticed about this morning. Take a look at the volume here. It did not really drop off much. So maybe some distribution, maybe some profit taking going on here in the markets. We know how extended everything is. And it's obvious at this point that the Fed leaked this to the banks, right? We got that huge run up ahead of time. Now, hedge funds did not get the memo. You're going to see here, take a look at the Russell. That continued to push higher. And again, the most shorted stocks here today are the ones doing the best. And really, that's been the case lately. Take a look at Carvana, up another 15%. We just took 25% on this one. This is one of my favorite squeeze plays to play. You can see Kathy here up 3.5%, right up into that big level, weekly level. So again, kind of the squeeze plays are running, and markets here are again, still in euphoria mode, and you don't necessarily want to fight this until the market gives us a sell signal. So, and the sell signal would be a reversal on high volume, which we do not have. I will say, though, again, like I just said, you got a hanging man there, so that doesn't mean we can't pull back. Let's throw our trend lines back on here. We went up into that 472 handle. I gave you guys that level yesterday, 472.01. We pierced it, and now we're pulling back in. It wouldn't even shock me if we just kind of consolidated in this range between 462 and 470 until the end of the year. There is a lot of, there's a lot of FOMO going on and so on and so forth. But I think a lot of that may have been pulled forward. And, again, I can't rule out another, kind of move up here. But at some point, I think they have to pull the rug at least a little bit, because they can't just keep handing out free money to call buyers. Again, I'm not short, so don't take this the wrong way, but I'm just kind of looking at this as impartially as I can here. But markets are holding up. Spider is up 20 basis points today. You see the triple Qs here actually red. Again, Microsoft under pressure here. So a little bit of a, almost kind of like a zigzag down there from Microsoft. I'd say that needs a test. The 350, 355 area. We're also seeing Netflix come in. Meta was down pretty big at one point. They did come off the lows. Amazon was down a little bit there today. So again, big tech coming in. And again, like I just showed you, the Russell 2000 being the leader. Again, this also looks a little short-term top heavy. Look at the gap there. I mean, this, we talked about 192, and it blew through that yesterday. And then we got a big gap up today. It is off the highs, though. Now coming into some weekly resistance here around 200. We'll see what that does to close the week out tomorrow. Maybe they pin it to 200. But IWM, obviously, the big winner there. And then the Dow here up 31 basis points. Again, possible little, kind of like a little hanging man, little doji potentially. Again, you're parabolic. You made new all-time highs. So nothing to say it can't go higher when it's parabolic. But just be aware, when they go parabolic up, they usually go parabolic down too. And, again, possible little sell signal there, but it's not anything that we're confirming yet. We also have to keep in mind, again, it's quarterly Opex. We're not going to crash or anything like that in front of that. We're also not going to crash in front of Christmas. I know a lot of people are calling for that right now. But I think the best case scenario here is for bears as you get back to 460. and you have kind of a scenario like this, like we had in June post Opex, where we just kind of drifted back in to that 20 period moving average. So that's kind of what I've got penciled in right now. Could we blow off and just go right to all-time highs? Anything's possible, but we are already very extended. I think that if we're going to make new all-time highs, which we should, it's probably going to be more so like earlier in January. I think, again, this is just a bias I have here right now, is that we're probably going to go sideways. But again, we won't take anything for granted, and just take the best chart setups. Again, like I've been saying, don't fight this trend until the market gives us an opportunity. When you go parabolic like this, the top will be obvious. The hard top to call is the rolling top like this one. When you go parabolic up, the top is very easy to spot. So when we see it, we'll see it, and then we'll know we have a correction. But anyways, semiconductors here up 1.7. NVIDIA actually a little bit stronger on the day. As far as big tech is concerned, it is flat, but the rest of big tech is mostly negative. AMD finally pulling back in there a little bit. Broadcom up another 2% there. So again, Broadcom just been on a tear lately. I don't know where that one wants to go or where that's going to stop, but the SMH at 173, that's a new all-time high. The SOX here, that just made a new all-time high as well. So we can go back here. So we just pierced that level. And the SOX at 250, up 2.59%. So big move for the semis. One sector that did pull back, though, finally, is cloud software. So IGV down 1.45. Adobe getting hit here, down 6 2/3. And again, earlier this week, Oracle took a hit as well. So cloud coming under a little bit of pressure here again. I've been saying this is overbought and needs to pull back into this area. It tried to pump up yesterday. Everything pumped yesterday. And it did come back in today. So we'll see where it closes the week out. I think it needs to do weekly consolidation, and then it can push higher. But again, down 1.43. And again, we'll leave it at that for now. But cloud pulling in. Dow transports here got to our level. So there's the 16K hit, up 2%. And again, they should have to pull back here. It should have to stall out, but nice bullish inside bar, nice reversal yesterday. Look at how it was down yesterday, and then it ripped higher, gap and go today. So we'll see what that does here, but I would say it's going to need to stall out, little stall point. We can get rid of this old bear flag here. You can see that pivot right there. So 15,961, we just pierced it by a little bit today. And we'll look for consolidation or something of that nature. And then the transports can go higher. And that inverse head and shoulders is valid up to, again, we'll just call it 17K. So transport's acting well. A little overbought, but so is everything right now. All right, interest rates here. So let's flip over. And we'll start with the 2-year as always. So the 2-year is interesting here, and where does it intraday? Let's get over here. There we go. So that got to the 4.25 area, and we got a nice bounce. This is a big level for the 2-year. We might have a little bit of a low in place too. Another thing that I find interesting is I kind of sarcastically tweeted about this last night, but it's like, all right, everything's over, soft landing, mission accomplished, and then you look at the yield curve, and the 210 is nowhere near uninverting, which is fine, but look at the 3-month and 10-year. That's almost back to the lows now. So just kind of interesting to see that. It's not really confirming anything the Fed's saying. Anyways, just a little side note there. But 4.25, we basically got there, nice tail candle. I'll be interested to see what the 2-year does from here. 5-year, I think that can go a little bit lower, but not much. Again, I told you 375. We'll watch for that. The 10-year is slicing through these trend lines, but remember, I'm going off of the actual note, not the yield right now. And let's flip over here, because I don't want to give you out inaccurate information. But you're going to see the ZB pierce that trend line and look at it. So love charts, right? Look at this. Pivot, pivot, pivot. Look what happened intraday. We went through it, and now we're coming back in. So again, we'll see if that holds. Even if it goes a little bit higher, I don't see it getting much through this area here. This is actually, this is the ZN, the ZB here. Same thing. ZB pierce the 200, and we'll see how that behaves here. But nice little pullback there off of the highs. Again, if this goes a little bit higher, I don't have a ton more penciled in. Even if it gets through that trend line, you see the TLT there. That could get a little bit above 100, maybe 102. But that is kind of what we're looking at here. Again, it gapped above that trend line, so on the daily, so it may have a little bit more strength in it. But bond yields are coming back down. The market likes that. That's really the bottom line. I don't think there's a lot more gas in bonds. I think we're going to look back on the Fed's decision yesterday to pivot, and it's going to be seen as a major policy error. But again, right now in the short run, that doesn't matter. Bond yields are coming down, and the market likes that. That's all we need to know. XHB here, just another 6%. Why not, right? Let's just get it to 100. It's only 4 points away. So again, bond yields are coming in. You're seeing money panic into sectors that are yield sensitive. I mean, heck, look at XLU, had a big move yesterday. Even consumer staples, big move, just with everything else here. But XHB. Again, we'll just say $100, right? It's parabolic, but don't try to fight that. Look at VNQ. It just gapped above our resistance level and went right up to that 90 area. I think I gave that out as a secondary area, right? If we got above that, yep. So $90, 89 to 90, and that's where it is right now, and that's where it's pulling back. So pretty remarkable. Yeah, that was right. The weekly. So there's your weekly 200. I remember talking about that. And there it is. So, big move here. Again, this is what happens when you get FOMO, and you get a market that's on a sugar high. Anyways, XLF here up 1%. So again, right through the 37 handle. What can you say? It's acting well. Let me see if there's a fib here, just to try and find like a next level for this. Yeah, so we're through the 618. We'll see where it closes tomorrow. Next level through that would be right around 39. So there's your 7.5. But again, we'll see where it closes. Maybe we pull back in tomorrow and close right on the 618. Again, similar to the Dow, similar to everything else. You got kind of a possible little evening star setup, like a little hanging man. It's not technically a hanging man, but it is a doji after a gap. Maybe it gets magnetized to 37 tomorrow. But again, markets are in euphoria mode. Look at KRE, right? We talked about this level yesterday, and it's already halfway there, right? So 56, it's not that far away now. KBE, that blew through my target of 44. It's, next level I give you is 48.50. So again, banks, anything that was heavily shorted, again, VNQ, commercial real estate, shit companies, Carvana's, Unity, any one of these areas that's heavily shorted, banks, regional banks, they're all getting massive bids right now. There was a report yesterday that came out, and a bunch of hedge funds got margin called, basically at the close yesterday. So all these companies are getting rolled over here. XBD, broker dealers up 3%. I don't have a level for that. It blew through this trend line. Obviously that already exceeds. Look at this, 3, 6, 9, 12 days in a row for XBD. Broker dealers crushing it right now. Crude here up 3%. So that was a nice little gain for us in active trader. Today, closed that out this morning, and it is pulling back off the highs. I'm beginning to see here, we did have a little bit of a pullback before the COMEX close. It's got to get through this area here, 72.50, and then it can go to 74. My only concern with crude here is that it looks like it's repeating this pattern where you had this down move. Breakdown attempt, it was a little premature. Then we popped up, came off the highs, and then kind of just chopped around. It's almost the same thing. Down move, premature attempt to break, reversal, pop, came off the highs. Let's see. Is tomorrow going to be an inside day? We'll see. But you got to get through 72. If you can close above 72.60, which is that red bar high, then I think crude can really push up. But until that happens, we'll just remain neutral to slightly bullish on it. This is still a pretty solid weekly base. If you can see right there on the weekly. And you got a little tail candle that you're working on, so that is powerful as well. And holding the 200-week moving average, so we'll give it that for now. XLE, really impressive reversal today. XLE up 3%, reclaiming the 220. So, I'm not sure what to make of this right now. It is a really good rally. I would have liked it a lot better if we got down into the upper 70s. But right now, a really good outside bid. Again, a lot of energy is heavily shorted. right? Everybody's expecting recession, and you get margin called. It doesn't matter. You have to cover, and I think that's what we're seeing here today. Take a look at XOP. So that trend line ended up holding after all, but I basically got saved by those hedge funds getting margin called. But back above the 220 as well. We'll see 140 will be your next level. And OIH, what a disappointment. I was really hoping for 280. I really like that level. It could still get down there, but this looks fine, and you guys know my thoughts on the monthly. I love that pattern. I was just really hoping for a 280 test here. But if this breaks out on the monthly, OIH is going a lot higher. Like you're talking, 450, and then ultimately to 500. But yeah, oil services, nice gain there. Uranium here, look at CCJ. This just will not go down. Big distribution, and then all the way back up. So that will not go down. Look at it. We even tested that green bar there and then popped right back up. Weekly chart is still fine. Monthly is parabolic. Just be aware of that. And then URNM, again, similar story there today. Slight lower low, though, but it came off the lows, and that looks fine, up 4.5. Nat gas getting a bounce here today, up 3%. So that's near the highs of the day. We'll see how this ends the week here. If it can put in a little tail candle on the weekly, then you got a chance of putting in a nice local low. Again, very, very oversold there. That is the nature of nat gas. You get through 250, then you can look at 275, and then possibly even to $3. But nat gas getting a bounce there, and that was overdue. Dollar index here, so this is going to go to 101.50. It's right there, right? We've been talking about this for a couple weeks now. It said if we don't crack through this level, then you're going down here, and I mean it can get there tomorrow, right? So it's not that far away. This is also why I don't see a ton of downside in yields, downside in yields, even though the narrative is completely opposite right now. I think right now the dollar can hold this level and you get a bid. That's probably going to bring that TLT in. Again, it's not uncommon. Just to flip back over to ZB again, it's not uncommon to pierce a trend line for a day or two and then reverse, right? So dollar index, we'll look at that level here, and I do expect it to hold, at least for now. But that's the level we're watching, so 101.50 or thereabouts. Gold here, obviously up with the weak dollar. It is off the highs, though, and again, this level here. So I'm going to go to a monthly. So again, right there, that trend line, that's where we're backing off of. And again, we're not that far away. Will it coincide with that level I just gave you on the dollar? Yes, most likely, right? So we'll see how gold reacts there. But big bid yesterday. And, small continuation today, but it did come off the highs. Silver here, a little bit of a continuation there. Let's watch it at this level if it gets up there. So we'll watch that. Let's call it, I'll just call it 25. Okay, so we'll watch silver there. Let me see if there's a bib here. Yeah, there you go. So there's a 618 right at 25. So that's what we'll say silver wants to get to, and then we'll look at it if and when that happens. Platinum took off here, so looks like I missed the boat on that one, but I do think you can buy dips on this or a bullish pattern, but I do think platinum is bottomed, and I do find it attractive here. Look at palladium here. That looks like that may have bottomed as well. Look at the volume. And look at the level on the monthly. That looks really good, especially if you can close the month with a strong, I mean, if you can close above last month's high, that would really, I think, cement there being a low in palladium. Copper here, nice outside move up 2.36, pulling in off the highs. Again, I'll give it the upside bias to 4 if we can get above these levels. But again, I want to see that weekly close because I'm not convinced of anything until I see that. Bitcoin here. So just hovering around the 43 handle. So that's been a pretty quiet day for Bitcoin. Again, still holding trend. No real problems here. So just some pulling back. You see ETH coming off the highs as well. But again, this can still get to 48 as long as you hold this trend. If we can hold, I'd say 40K, there's no real problems. You start to lose 40K, then it starts to, you do a little bit of chart damage, right? You're below the moving averages, you're below these pivots, below this green bar, breakup bar. But until then, I don't really see any problems, and I think crypto still looks fine. It's, I would never pay up for it at these lofty levels. I'd need to see an actual correction first, but again, there's nothing to say it can't go higher right now. All right, let's flip over here to the spiders again. So just up 25 basis points. We're probably just going to hang around here until the close. So 3:30. Remember, tomorrow is quarterly Opex for the quarter, and it's also a leap Opex too. A lot of premium expiring. Expect games to be playing. If you're going to day trade tomorrow, I would probably just advise being in scalp mode. Do not directionally trade because they're probably going to try to pin this. My guess is they're going to pin us to 4,700. That's just my educated guess. A lot of calls and puts likely expiring in that area. But in any case, we'll see what we get tomorrow. Again, markets are a little extended, a little lofty. I don't like that doji at the end of a big run. Often that can signal a possible trend change. But that said, even if we do pull in, like it's not like I'm looking for anything more than 4,600. Maybe 462 on the SPY. That would probably be your kind of max downside here for the near term, unless we got a high volume sell off, some type of geopolitical event that comes into play. But again, I don't think they're going to do anything to this thing before Christmas. They worked all year to manipulate it up. They're going to keep it up before the holidays, that's for sure. So anyways, guys, going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I will talk to you guys all tomorrow.